Here's the truth, guys. My beliefs don't run in a vacuum. I'm going to say this to start because today's video is a little bit political, and I'm going to discuss beliefs I have, current administration, and also stay firm in some of my belief systems. With that, I do love conversation. I love having conversation with people that disagree with my decisions at the ballot, but have the ability to also listen to me and provide information and do different things where we can find some middle ground. So as I said, my beliefs do not operate strictly in a vacuum. I will say this, and this is a little bit about the No Kings protest this last weekend that was very, very large across the country. I believe Donald Trump was the right vote for me. If you were to ask me, would you vote for him again with the um, options that there are and that there were? 100%, I would vote for him again. But I am not blind. There are parts of this administration that I believe are drastically in the wrong. At the same time, I think it's foolish to look at some of the things going on and some of the things that we had the last 4 years under Joe Biden that made me think the no king, no cult, no unchecked power. There's this protest, no kings now. The equal scrutiny is completely gone. And I will state some of the positives. Well, I don't think there was a ton of the positives in the No Kings protest, except for the fact that there was a lot of people that do feel a very similar way and they're voicing their frustration. And Trump's reaction to it was also a fail. So I will get into that in today's Daily Truth. I'm Anthony Michael Russo. Like this video, share this video, do all the things with this video tonight, literally in less than an hour. If you are watching this live, if you're on OBBM, sign up for the next one because you're watching this a week later. If you are watching this live, little rush hour Daily Truth, please sign up for the getbetteratspeaking.com webinar. I'm going to give away four tips to better speaking, as well as how you can utilize and leverage your story as your superpower, use your voice, all of those things, how it can change your life. It's not just for speakers. It's great for speakers, but not just for speakers. People wanting to get better at communication. I hopefully will see you there. Again, that's 6 p.m. Central Time. If you're watching this, go sign up right when I get done in about 5 minutes at getbetteratspeaking.com. You can go to my Instagram. You'll see all the different things that I do, including Make Wellness Bio-Precision Peptides, the first ever network marketing company or affiliate marketing company that made it to $100 million this fast. The products are fantastic. Mandatory, obligatory flex for the day. Let's go. It's still healing. Hurts like a son of a bee sting, but still healing. All right. I see some people sharing it. Looks like it's on all the different platforms. So awesome. And for those that haven't had a chance, go to my Instagram. I did a little review. I was at the place where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I spent some time there at UVU this last week, and I encourage you to check out that post. It was very interesting. So anything you can find that I do is on my Instagram as of right now. So go to my Instagram at Anthony Michael Russo. You'll get all that information. And of course, getbetteratspeaking.com. Tonight, the webinar starts at 6 Central. All right. So I'll give you enough time to register for it. What's going on? Lori, skip the ads. You skip the ads, Casey. All right, let's get right into it. First off, I was going to make this video anyways, and then I had reshared something, and I feel like we are right in some weird fake matrix. I reshared something by somebody that typically shares factual information. But apparently Grok mischaracterized a post that the MSNBC, who I don't think is real news, but they showed the No Kings protests in Boston with what looked to be hundreds of thousands of people in the streets. And then Grok said, no, this is from a 2017 protest. And so therefore I shared it. And I was corrected by my friend DJ Miss Ninja, who we had great political conversations this week, as somebody that we don't fully agree and don't fully align. But honestly, once you get down to the root of it, we believe a lot of the same things, which I wish Americans would come together and discuss, which is something that Charlie Kirk was trying to do, why he was so dangerous and why he was probably taken out. So I want to state that right now what we see is it's going to get progressively more difficult to know what the truth is, and I don't have a proper answer for it. With all of that being said, I think it's really I'm first gonna give my disagreement with the No Kings protest. First off, it was fun. It's clearly funded. There's so many examples and independent journalism showing thousands to tens of thousands of dollars of printing and signs. This is not grassroots. And that is one correction I will make on people. This was a well-funded, nationally syndicated protest. And the term "no kings" is just incendiary, and it is divisive, and it is being done but by a much higher level than who you think. This is not politicians. This is global elite that wants to see America fighting itself. And the "no kings" concept is such a joke. It is a slogan. It is propaganda. And the one funny thing that could be said with Trump when he said it was like, hey, you know what? Nope, it worked. There's no kings, because there is not a king. If you want to go to the Biden presidency, there was elements of threats made against civilians. At one point, he even said, we've got F-15s. They don't. That's a direct threat against the people in America. That is a direct threat. That's a huge deal. That's scary. Biden did some other things. He should be and was criticized, but not by anybody on the left, for his involvement in pushing big tech platforms to censor content. His White House, his administration looked to the Zuckerbergs of the world, threatened. Actually, Mark Zuckerberg actually came out and said he was threatened by the Department of Justice, which technically it was a couple different times. He was first directed for the Hunter Biden laptop, which was actually when Trump was president. But again, I think Trump lost control of some of the darker wings in the government. So he was silenced, and that what could have changed the election was silence. But during the Biden administration, health information was also silenced, not allowing there to be a counter balance to COVID vaccinations or to all the different things like ivermectin, therapeutics, stuff like that. So his administration was pushing for full censorship. You can argue that about Trump because he's saying we should get rid of the Jimmy Kimmels, we should do that. That's not censoring news. That's censoring people that say stupid stuff. Again, I don't agree with them being canceled unless I do. Okay, I agree with them being canceled because they're not paying their weight and they're not making the amount of money that their show costs. That's the reason for cancellation. I don't like them. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like Seth Meyers. I don't like those guys. Colbert or whatever. I can't even remember who the other one was. I don't care. I don't watch those shows. I'll see some clips. But if the financial needle is a reason to fire them, great. If it's just canceling, like, oh, they made this joke, I don't agree with that. But you're talking about the previous administration literally silencing of counterbalanced information. Biden's rhetoric and policy posture in Philadelphia and elsewhere, where he described some analysts as being, he was described by some people on the right as competing brand for authoritarianism. There was the delegitimizing of the opposition, calling them the MAGA group, the dangerous MAGA, radical extremists. He was directly talking to the voter base on the right as the enemy. That's king-like. That's dictator-like. Trump talks crap about the other side in government. I still cannot hear him talking. Well, okay. He doesn't talk directly at them as pieces of garbage. He did make a stupid meme this last week where he was pooping on top of the No Kings protest on his own social media, which also leads me to the fact that we are in a bizarro world. And that is not, although comical, we have to, not comical for all, but comical in some ways. We have to realize that that is not the way to handle the situation. Yes, I would say what rhymes with Boros is the one that funded much of the No Kings protest. And I want to also reject that my side gets a pass. And I reject that we simply ignore the real dangers of uncontrolled executive power, whether from the left or the right. I had a long conversation with Casey at lunch the other day where we were talking about the fact that executive orders are very dangerous because once one side abuses them, which I think Biden did, And then Trump is now abusing them even more. It's getting to the place where the president of the United States of America will have unfettered king-like access. But this is not a Trump issue. This started probably several presidents ago. Not even Trump 2016, Obama, Bush. If you want to do an anti-Trump protest, go for it. But the no kings thing is such a joke, especially coming from the party that didn't hold a primary. You didn't hold a primary. You literally just handpicked somebody. And then somebody used the example, well, if Trump would have got shot in the neck and killed, then the Republicans would have done the same thing. Biden didn't get shot in the neck and killed. He had been senile his whole presidency. He'd been held up like Weekend at Bernie's his whole presidency. They knew it was coming, and they actively chose to select him and push him forward. So today's truth, and I won't finish here, but today's truth are your beliefs are your own. Your integrity is universal. Don't allow blind allegiance. Don't allow false idols. Stay fierce, but stay fair at the exact same time. Stay bold, but stay humble in your beliefs. Just the same way as when I shared that video earlier and then realized I needed to take it down, which, by the way, Benny Johnson still hasn't taken it down as of this moment. Because in a world divided by kings and queens, your faith should be in the truth, in values, and in the people that you're around on a daily basis, not personalities. Believe the person, but don't blind yourself to thinking the president is perfect. Now, I'm going to go in a little bit to the No Kings protest, and then I will end this. And I see a decent amount of people watching. Obviously, thank you, Casey. Actually, on all platforms, we got some people. So make sure you like it, share it, do all the things with it. I think Trump is doing some things very well. Economically, I think we're heading towards a good place. I do think that I'm not one that is against the tariffs. I think there's a long-term goal with that. I think what's happening at the border, keeping it secure, is very good. But what he is doing, what his administration is doing, is making a mockery of sending people back home. I think it's ridiculous that we have plain dressed officers deporting people and roughing people up. It's a little sketchy to me. Again, the amount of numbers of deportations is actually no different than Obama. If anything, it's actually a little bit less, which is wild to think about. So I think that he's being painted in a bad way in that sense, but the way that it's being handled in the rhetoric putting forth is wrong. It looks wrong. We live in a world now where we have to actually look at optics, and the optics is bad, which is leading to people like the No Kings protest. And I saw some ridiculous interviews there. I also saw some people that I like and respect walking the streets with, in some ways, a lot of loony bin characters. But then at the same time, some of them are paid. The loony bin ones are paid. So who knows? Either way, 7 million people. Donald Trump didn't take it seriously, and I think he should have. I think he should. These are people that are upset. 7, 8 million people out on a Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it was. Saturday. It's a big deal. Something to discuss. There's a lot of people upset. And if they understood the policy, they'd be less upset. Instead, they're being led by the rhetoric. And honestly, usually I would blame the media. Unfortunately, Trump is doing it with his own social media. He's the one flying a plane and a meme dropping poop on the protesters. That's not okay. It's really not okay. So, what else? Oh, and also the Epstein list. That's ridiculous that hasn't been released. What he did with the JFK files, not great either. And then, of course, you've got the fact that he's making BFFs with Pfizer with $70 billion deals to say, all right, you cut your costs, but we'll make you the number one priority of the government in terms of pharmaceuticals. There's a lot of things he's doing that I didn't vote for. But to conclude, the option of it being Kamala Harris presidency or Donald Trump presidency, when I tell people, that's the problem. When I tell people that I'm not fully happy or a little bit disgruntled, what do they say? See, you vote. I told you, I knew you'd go back on who you didn't want to vote for. No, I still 100 days out of 100 days would vote for Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. And I want to be very clear about that. But at the same token, I can also challenge my own party. As of right now, I don't foresee the Republicans winning in the midterms. which is crazy because if you'd asked me a month or two ago with Charlie Kirk and with what's going on, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're in good shape. But Trump pushing this rhetoric and not acknowledging that there was a lot of middle ground people at the No King's Day protest, I think is foolhardy. I think is a problem, and I think will hurt in the long run. And ultimately, as somebody that really truly does have middle ground beliefs, in a lot of ways, most people have heard me talk about all of them. And I don't agree with all the ultra conservative Christians in many ways on certain voting topics, or the old school Republicans. Far from it. Hate, not a big fan at all of George Bush and the Bush family. I'm not a true red Republican. As of right now, I think the Democrat Party has so drastically, disgustingly lost its way, and I don't think they have any leadership. When AOC and Jasmine Crockett is the leaders of your party, or Ilhan Omar, or the fact that Mamdani, Mama Joanna, whatever, is going to potentially, as a socialist that's never worked a day in his life, potentially going to win the state of the governorship, mayor of New York. Sorry. Governor. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyways, it's wild to me. That's the reason I'm a Republican, not because I believe in all the Republican sides and beliefs. I'm a Republican because the Democrat Party is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Stephen A. Smith is somebody that I would listen to see what his beliefs are ahead of anybody else on that side. What Newsom's done to his own state. And now it's funny, I'm talking to my friend from California who's telling me that, things are getting better right now. I'm like, well, to me, there is a point where it's too little too late, and everybody knows he wants to run for president at this point. So he's trying to do 6 months of good work so that it makes up for the 15 years that he destroyed his state. Ugh, Mayor. Thank you, Kim. I just have to say, and this is where I'll end, is we don't have to have our beliefs in a vacuum. We can challenge our own party, which is something the Democrats should learn. The Democrat constituents should learn from this current issue with the government shutdown, which is getting ridiculous at this point, is not just a Republican problem. And the Democrats, unfortunately, don't understand what a filibuster is, thinking that, well, if the Republicans run everything and if they hold all the seats, why can't they just get it done? It's the Republicans' fault. No, it's the filibuster's fault. And the Republicans' fault for not finding some kind of middle ground. Our government is completely broken, plain and simple. It's not just Donald Trump. It's a lot of power. It's the powers that put on the No Kings protest, the powers that organized such a massive, not grassroots situation. That's the daily truth for today. I want to know how it's getting better. It's not, Lori. Honest to God, it's not. It's not getting better. The way it gets better is us to continue to go about our daily lives and be decent people to each other. That's all we got at this point, and to really pay attention at midterms in terms of who we vote for. Keep your powder dry. Yep. That's all. That's what I got for you guys. Again, Get Better at Speaking starts in 35 minutes. I got to get ready. If you want to come to that free speaking webinar, I saw a couple people sign up actually while I was on this live. I bet they were watching. I will see you guys tonight. I have a free gift at the end that I'm giving out. So join me there. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. Don't surrender your pets. Don't be a garbage human being. And Charlie, we've got it from here.